A century ago, a massive meteorite hit the continent. It landed on the ground, breaking it while emitting a blinding light. That same meteorite was carrying an enormous amount of eggs that spread all around the world. A giant monster showed up and caused chaos around the city. Those eggs turned into a Zerg race and started fighting the human army. But these armies were no match for them, even their destructive weapons. And years later, a great human being greeted a spiritual contract. It is for the women to awaken their spirit form when they become an adult, and for the man to awaken his spirit gift as a spirit master. The spiritual contract became their gateway to fight the monsters, and they were able to protect their last piece of land. A century had passed after the great disaster, and they built the youth academy. The girl named Lena screamed as she summoned something. The teacher announced that it was a C-grade sword with a sharpness trait. Lena was really disappointed that she has an ordinary C-grade talent. Zane was standing with the others as the annual awakening ceremony took place. May, his girlfriend, got called by the teacher for the awakening. She raised her hand and touched the glowing purple stone. A beam of golden light suddenly burst through the sky. She was forced to shut her eyes due to the awakened force. A red spear suddenly appeared midair. The teacher was shocked and announced that she awakened an S-grade, immortal blood spear. The field was now filled with murmurs from the students because it was a rare occurrence. The guys shut their mouths because May already had a boyfriend and they were talking nonsense. May grabbed Zane's shoulder and asked for a breakup because they were no longer the same. She turned away and warned him not to come near her again. The other students laughed at Zane while he was looking at her with furrowed brows. Zane believed it was just a matter of awakening an S-class spirit and everything will change. Before, he would do everything to please her and make her comfortable. He gave everything he had, but May still wasn't satisfied with it. In the spirit contract era, power meant everything, and he swore he wouldn't lower himself again. The students mocked him and told him to quit because he couldn't compare to her. He snapped and asked them if they weren't worried he'd awaken an S-class talent or even higher. May sneered at him and said S-class talents were rare and he wasn't worthy of it. The teacher then called out for his name, prompting him to move forward. He raised his hand and touched the glowing stone, but the stone didn't respond to him. May laughed at him, saying that he was a waste because he can't even awaken anything. Zane's eyes suddenly widened in surprise when the glowing stone responded and emitted a blinding golden light in front of them. The students were shocked as they are, being confused if it was an S-class awakening. The golden beam surged through the sky and still hasn't stopped. Suspecting that it was SS level, the glowing stone announced that he is a triple S-grade heavenly spirit contract master. May was devastated upon witnessing it, saying that it only appears in 100 years. The students were in chaos because triple S level masters were the rewriters of history. Suddenly, the girls started throwing themselves at Zane upon seeing his class. The girl in blue hair touched his cheek, bragging that she should be the one chosen because she owned 360 costumes. Zane turned away from them and told them he wasn't ready to choose. He raised his hand towards the stone, and an information panel showed to better understand his divine restoration. May suddenly came up to him, asking if they could make it up just because of his class. He turned his gaze at her in confusion. He saw her hidden information while she offered her hand if he agreed to her. He was surprised that he saw her information at once, while the latter was still convincing him. Without any hesitation, he refused her offer to be partners. He starts walking away to find a suitable spirit to bond with him, but May isn't giving up. But the other girls surrounded her and mocked her for dumping him and winning him over again. They then turned their mockery to Sheena because she was the school beauty, but her class is E-level. They deemed her spirit useless, and she will not be able to stay in the academy for long. Sheena stood in humiliation as they told her that no one would choose her. Her tears fell down her face because of the treatment she got after the awakening. She then started running away, not knowing that it was Zane's direction. She bumped into him, causing him to react in surprise. Zane told her to be careful as she was falling while he was trying to catch her. He successfully caught her in his arms, apologizing that he didn't mean it. Sheena told him that she was okay with tears in her eyes. Her hidden information then popped up. He recognized Fuxi Chin as one of the greatest ancient artifacts and questioned why it ranked only E-level. Sheena asked him what was wrong, worried that she hurt him. Zane patted her head, which made her blush, and invited her to complete a contract with him, which made her confused. The girls fell into a chaos upon hearing it and suddenly threw a tantrum. The principal of the academy named Chen suddenly arrived and stopped them. He then pointed at Zane and said he appreciated it, but they couldn't rush the contract. Sheena once again stood in humiliation upon hearing it. She turned to Zane and told him that the principal is right because she is not worthy. The principal then sneered at them, causing the students to react in horror. The protector of Shen City, named Zahu, arrived in rage, saying that Zane made a lot of noise. May's eyes suddenly sparkled upon seeing Zahu, because he was her godfather. Zahu's eyes glowed in red, saying that Zane was bullying May because he awakened a higher talent. He grabbed Zane's collar and said he could ban anyone with just one word. Zane turned his gaze at May, asking if she was worthy, which caused her to react in rage. Zahu jumped at him with his arms raised because he disrespected May, but someone grabbed his arm to stop him. Zane didn't bother and just watched it happen before his eyes. Chen stepped in to calm Zahu, reminding him that Zane is an SSS Awakener. Zahu was still mad about it, but he agreed with Chen, threatening Zane if he dared to contract with Sheena. But Zane did not wave, and still chose Sheena to be his partner. He grabbed Sheena into his arms and asked her once again to form a contract with him. With tears in her eyes, Sheena apologized for causing so much trouble to him. But Zane told her not to apologize, because she deserves to be his partner. A magic circle suddenly showed up, and a chain surrounded the two of them. Zane's eyes glowed in gold as he activated his divine light, while Sheena was screaming seemingly in pain. A purple sphere suddenly engulfed Sheena while Zane was standing in front of her. The contract was a success, and he was now holding an ancient magic weapon, with the system panel announcing that Sheena became a triple S level spirit. The ancient weapon glowed midair with its hidden information above. Zane was mesmerized because Sheena was a powerful spirit and an all-rounder. Now that she has bonded with Zane, Sheena finally felt the power of the SSS level spirit. Sheena couldn't believe it that she went from E level to highest level. She then rushed towards Zane and embraced him to give her gratitude. May clung to her godfather and asked him to make it up to her, but he told her not to worry. He revealed that he already arranged for tomorrow's Spirit Master test. He then asked May for repayment, which the latter told that they should go to their old place. His eyes suddenly glowed red as he agreed to her. A few hours later, a hate post blew up through the phone. It was Zahu's doing because he asked other people to post negative things about Zane. The two of them then continued doing their business. May praised him for being good at everything. He grinned and resolved to show Zane true cruelty. May was now gasping for breath after what happened. At the cafeteria, the boys were murmuring about how trash Sheena's level is, and Zane was just deceived. Sheena blushed in embarrassment and apologized, but Zane patted her head and told her not to. He then asked her to eat more breakfast so she won't fall behind the master's test. While still chewing, he told her to ignore the clowns and prove how powerful she was. Someone suddenly called out to Zane, and he turned to look. Luma appeared with May and claimed he wasn't good enough, even with his high rank. Zane asked who he was, and he confidently introduced himself as May's new spirit master. Zane toyed with his name, which made Sheena laugh with him, and angered Luma, causing him to bark in front of them. May held him back, and said that they were not worth his trouble. She asked him to go because the test is about to start, but Luma still dared Zane before going. Inside the large arena, the facilitator announced that they need to pass at least one level to qualify. He then called out the first pair to perform, which was Luma and May, prompting the two of them to walk in front with confidence. The massive door has opened. A huge claw suddenly pierced to the ground. The first test has begun, with a level 1 difficulty black oyster. May's body glowed in red as Luma extended his hand. She turned into a spear as the black oyster charged forward. The black oyster roared in front of him as he readied the spear. It then struck first, but Luma managed to dodge the attack. He then surged downward with the glowing spear. He trusted it through the black oyster's body, then leapt upward to strike again. He dashed towards the monster's direction and threatened it. The golden beam struck the monster, which caused it to growl in pain. The beam leaves a massive hole on the monster's chest, while Luma lands perfectly on the ground. The students cheered for them as they witnessed the power of S level. The battle was shown through the monitor inside. The old man told the others it was not a one-shot, but it did not matter. Wade spoke, saying that they still had a hard time killing it. But the old man hit his head, telling him not to boss him around. Jugo of District 2 noticed that May is 20% weaker, despite being an S level. He added that she probably lived carelessly, which caused the spirit source to leak out. Zahu faked a cough upon hearing it. The facilitator congratulated May and Luma for conquering level 7 difficulty. The students cheered on the bench, saying that they were truly an S class. The facilitator then looked down as he called for the next pair. It was Zane and Sheena, telling them to come up to the stage. The massive door then slowly opened in front of them. Zane's eyes widened as he got confused. There were 10 black oysters looming before them. The both of them couldn't believe it, with Sheena exclaiming that it was supposedly level 1 difficulty. The students realized that it was an official targeting, which made them hyped up. The facilitator looked back, saying that in order to choose the elite, it was 10 times difficult. It was because Zahu bribed him, saying that Zane is not allowed to pass. He apologized under his breath because Zane offended someone. The black oysters roared loudly as they charged towards the duo. Sheena transformed into a weapon while Zane dared the monsters. With a swift move of his hand, weapons started rushing towards the approaching monsters. The black oysters were chopped within seconds. All of them then fell on the ground with severed limbs. The students were shocked upon witnessing that the duo killed the monsters in second. Even the facilitator couldn't believe it, thinking how it was possible. Wade stood excitedly, commenting that he took those black oysters in 30 seconds, but Zane did it in 1. Jugo admired how strong he was, but he noticed that the rules of the test did not follow. Zahu was triggered and defensively explained himself. He then cursed at the back of his mind because Zane was too strong. Wade smiled and said it was fine since they had grown too comfortable for too long. Even the old man agreed, revealing that he wanted to test Zane's limits. The test difficulty level 2 then begins with 20 numbers of black oysters. Zane once again waved his hand and produced a song, emitting a powerful energy around him. The blue energy greeted the approaching monsters. It then fought with them through the air, tossing all of them on the ground, leaving no scratch to Zane. The latter seemed to mock Zahu, saying that the monsters were not enough, The students barked, saying that he was crazy for directly slapping the officials. Wade enthusiastically declared that he will take Zane, but Yuri stopped him and rather took Zane. The two of them started bickering about taking Zane with them. But Zuki butted in, saying that he wanted Zane to explore the 4th district first, which prompted the two of them to curse at him angrily. The old man told them to stop arguing, which they instantly followed. He then asked Jugo about his opinion of the test, which he suggested to adopt the highest standard possible. The old man shut his eyes and agreed. Zahu remained silent at the back while listening to them. He then grinned widely, as if he was planning something illegal. Going back to the battlefield, the facilitator announced that the difficulty of the test had been raised. The difficulty level 3 begins with the second-order giant lizards, together with the looming second-order thunderbirds. The students noticed that the difficulty had been too much because it was a defense and damage combo. Zane laughed at them again and said it would only make him look stronger. This made Luma chuckle and call him arrogant. The monsters started their formation as they prepared for an attack. The bird chirped and thunderstorms began forming in their mouths. It then loomed before Zane as he stood in the middle. He raised his hand for a counterattack, and the warriors began appearing and surging towards the monsters. They followed the order to kill the enemies and started attacking the lizards on the ground. The thunderbirds chirped as they emitted lightning. The warriors instantly disintegrated as the lightning hit. The lightning strikes were scattered all over the place, but Zane leapt upward and didn't give a thought about it. He emitted a golden energy as he activated the formation of breaking songs. He passed through the lightning without a single scratch. The students were all surprised in different ways. Upon finishing the monsters, Zane slowly descended on the ground with his zither. He landed in front of the scattered monsters while others were confused about it. He then raised a finger, activating his last song. The lizards and the birds were thrown away just before they reached their target. They couldn't believe that Zane won again and said that he is more monstrous than the monsters. Luma was shocked and cursed under his breath because of the immense power he had. The facilitator announced that the test difficulty level 3 has been completed. Jugo and Wade were in disbelief because Zane and the zither were unpredictable. The old man named Zoro was left wondering if Sheena was really an E level. He called Afu to come, which the latter quickly followed. He asked what his task was, to which he asked if he could identify Sheena's level. He admitted that he looked at it earlier but was unable to identify it, suspecting that it was the same as the lady. Zoro clarified if he meant Lien. He added that it was because Sheena contracted with Zane. He found it strange and decided that it is necessary for Lien and Zane to meet. He then asked Afu the name of Lion's E-level spirit, in which the latter revealed that it was Shinong. Meanwhile, Zane told the teacher that he still wanted to continue fighting. The latter commended him for being young and energetic. Then the test difficulty level 4 started as the monsters began swarming again. The centipede struck him swiftly, but he managed to move fast and dodge. He then started playing the zither while raising his hand. The monsters were instantly cut in multiple pieces as the energy hit them. The remaining monsters began approaching while Zane decided to meet them halfway. He then dared them to show where his limits were as he attacked. Zane instantly moved forward as he won the following test difficulty levels. He was now standing in the middle of the monsters' corpses, still unscathed. The teacher suddenly called him out, saying that he won 9 levels in a row and it's time to stop. But Zane refused, saying that he wanted to challenge the level 10 difficulty. The students were murmuring because level 10 is the final level and it was third-order monsters. On the other hand, Wade admitted that he only challenges up to level 9 in the test system. He remembered how he won and refreshed the historical record in the past. Jugo recognized Zane's talent and wanted to recruit him in the 2nd district, but Wade got enraged. He then fixed his glasses with a wide grin. He was now engulfed with purple aura while daring Wade. The facilitator reminded him that he won't stop him even if he failed to do it. Zane asked to allow him time to rest, but he replied that there were regulations. Zane closed his eyes as green aura engulfed his whole body. He was now in the state of quick recovery as he played the song. The students were shocked upon witnessing that his spirit is an all-rounder. Meanwhile, Jugo and Wade were still fighting over him as their aura collided. Someone suddenly faked a cough to get their attention. It was Leo of the 5th district, asking if it was appropriate for them to have a healer. Wade was intrigued because Leo was there to rob Zane too. Leo then asked for Zane to be in his district, which the two firmly refused. Zoro was enraged and threw a punch, which made them stop and called his name. Zoro reiterated that the 8 great war districts have performed their own duties and achieved great success. These 8 war districts became their backbone, holding up the heavens for people. He then announced that he had a plan to form the 9th district. Jugo suddenly got serious and looked at the monitor, thinking if Zane can really handle the 9th district. A flaming monster suddenly appeared. It was the 3rd-order beast, showing up as the start of surviving 3 minutes in level 10. It then roared loudly and let out a massive heat force. The students barely kept themselves together as the heat reached them. They then pointed out Zane because he wasn't dodging. The latter asked if Sheena was ready, and she answered that she will support him no matter what. Zane's eyes glowed golden as he rushed towards the enemy. The beast roared once again, letting out a massive flame. Zane managed to dodge the flame ball, causing it to hit the ground and caused an explosion. He shut his eyes and began playing his zither. The wind engulfed them as he sang a wind attack. The facilitator's eyes widened as the strong wind revealed his bald head. The girls and boys tried to hold themselves together because of how strong it was. A whirlpool of wind suddenly manifested midair, while Zane apologized to them. It then loomed before the red flame beast, making it roar in utter shock as it couldn't move. It was then sent flying away with the wind, causing it to scream in defeat. Its debris were scattered midair as Zane defeated the third order monster. The students couldn't believe that Zane managed to complete the level 10 difficulty, while Luma and Mei were frustrated because their spotlight got stolen. Zane realized that forcefully playing a high-level zither song has a backlash. His world suddenly collapsed as it disintegrated. Someone suddenly congratulated him and said that he had come to the second phase. Zane turned his gaze and asked who he was, which prompted Jugo to introduce himself while asking for permission. He asked who would win between humans and Zerg, which Zane admitted that it was Zerg. He added that he fought for both the people and the land they lived on. Someone suddenly clapped and commended him. It was Zoro, asking if he could be Zane's master. The latter was shocked, recognizing that Zoro came from the most powerful family in the Sha Empire. 100 years ago, 3 Zerg emperors wreaked havoc on the great Sha Empire. But Zoro arrived just in time, defeating the 3 emperors with him alone. Zane smiled cheerfully, asking if he could really be his master, to which Zoro agreed. He then bowed respectfully, asking for Zoro to accept it. The latter smiled and grabbed his shoulder, saying that he was better than the district masters. He added that he had not prepared anything special for their first meeting, so he handed him a ring made from the Emperor's bones with zoomy space to store anything. Zane noticed that it hides a horrible aura of death, which proves that the 9th Order Emperor is stronger. Zoro added that the ring works against low-level Zerg and provokes stronger ones to attack. Zane wore it instantly because it was a gift from his master, which made him laugh. He became serious and turned his head to Jugo as if he was letting him hear his subtle complaint. He then smiled at Zane and told him that he will take him and Sheena for a meal because they have finished the exam. Inside the restaurant, Zoro told Zane that he also invited the other district masters for him to get to know them. Jugo introduced himself as the master of the 2nd District War Zone. He then introduced the other 3, which were Yuri, Zuki, and Leo. Zane and Sheena stood before them and greeted all of them politely. Yuri and Zuki mentioned that the other brothers won't be able to come due to their schedule. The 8th brother suddenly appeared on Zane's back. He gave him his number and said to call if he was in danger, but he only had 1 shot. He then instantly vanished right before Zane's eyes, which prompted him to mention that he had a very unique personality. Jugo suddenly tossed a gift and told him that it contains martial arts and other useful things. Zane grabbed it just in time and happily thanked all his seniors. A madam suddenly showed up, scolding someone for eating a hot pot behind her back. It turns out that it was Sheena's aunt. She scolded her for turning her back on them now that she had a fortune. She then rushed forward while raising her hand in anger, but Zane managed to catch it on time, which prompted her to order Zane to release her as she pulled her hand away. She recognized that Zane was the boy who stole Sheena away, so she was demanding compensation. Sheena gritted her teeth because of anger. She then shouted at her to stop. Her aunt got mad as she dared to yell at her. She yelled back and told her that Nino is from the 4th district to intimidate them. Zuki halted her as he heard that she mentioned the 4th district, but the aunt told him to shut up because he was a nobody. She then pointed at Zoro, mistaking him as Zane's grandfather. She demanded he pay the dowry for taking Sheena and threatened him with suffering. Zoro slammed his chopsticks on the table. He angrily asked the district masters to take action because she called him old man. The 3 masters rushed to call and asked why it was happening in their district. Wade just hummed on the side while sipping his tea. Sheena's aunt did not back down, telling them that she had her people too. Her phone suddenly rang in her pocket. She picked it up and got scolded by Nino for messing up their family. Zoro crossed his arms and told her she has no one up there now. Nino told her that if she wanted to die, she should do it sooner and not burden their family. Her phone suddenly fell on the ground. She was also sitting on the ground while being confused. The waiter asked her not to cause any more trouble, but she reasoned out that they were bullying her. She threw a tantrum on the ground, shouting that the spirit masters were bullying normal people. Zoro got irritated and swung his arm as golden light flashes. Sheena's aunt then screamed as the light engulfed her body. Sheena bowed down and apologized to their master for her aunt's trouble, but Zoro comforted her and told her that she and Zane can live at his house from now on. With tears in her eyes, Sheena gave her gratitude to him. Zoro then told them not to be so polite and offered the food on the table. He then instructed that there are some rules to follow at the 9-grid dinner. He added that side dishes are for hot pots and the corners are for stewing. Zane pointed to himself and asked what he was, but Zoro told him that everyone has their own path. Zane fell into a deep thought upon hearing it, while his master's eyes suddenly widened in confusion. He suddenly realized that all his beef and pork belly were missing. Sheena then shoved all of it onto Zane's side, which made him confused. He tried to hide it and faked a smile, asking where her sisters-in-law were. Jugo asked if Zane and Sheena have been together because masters can replicate some of the spirit's abilities. He added that there are 2 types of spirit forms, which are materialized and humanized, and his sisters-in-law were in humanoid form to hold their posts for his brothers. The master and the spirit can fight together or separately, but only if they had slept together. Jugo asked if Sheena is really an E level, which Zane admitted, but he had an ability to revive her divinity, which made her an SSS level. The brothers were so shocked upon hearing it because it was strange. He revealed that he did not just choose his partner randomly and used his ability for it. Zoro ordered Zane to keep his talent among them and asked Jugo to make them confidential, which prompted the two of them to follow politely. As they were eating, Leo and Yuri revealed that they had made progress against the Zerg. Zoro stood up and raised his drink for a toast, making the district masters follow his lead. As they arrived in front of Zoro's house, Zane asked if he was alright. Holding the door, Zoro dismissed his question and told them to take a look at their new home. Zane and Sheena were shocked because they didn't expect Zoro to have a house in Shen City. Zoro revealed that it was his wife's homeland, which prompted Zane to ask where she was. Zoro suddenly shivered in front. He was enraged while telling them that she died fighting. He added that the world only knows his name, but not his wife's, who sacrificed herself. Zane suddenly apologized to him because he mentioned it. Zoro told him to be nice to Sheena, because they were humans too, which made him agree. Zane asked the name of his wife, to which he answered that it was Mayu. If she was still alive, she was more qualified to be the savior of the empire for fighting the two Zerg emperors. Zoro then turned his back and instructed them to find a room they liked to rest. Outside the house, Zoro was sitting with Mayu's picture while watching the moon. Someone suddenly called to him, which made him turn his head. It was Zane and Sheena, wanting to accompany their master to watch the moon above. Zoro stood up and remembered his time together with his wife. He emitted a gold aura and told Zane that he will teach him his best martial arts skill. He shouted with all his might, cutting the big tree in half with his punch. He revealed that it was a technique called Baki, which has an 8 lock in total. Zane also emitted a gold aura while raising his fist, asking if it was right. He was shocked upon seeing Zane do it by only watching while it took Wade half a year to master it. Zane shut his eyes, saying that he is feeling the energy in the right place. Zoro launched towards Zane, saying that he will teach him the 8 deadly fist technique. Zane was sent away by the force after he attacked him instantly. Zoro smirked, wanting Zane to realize that it is not good to be too much of a genius. With his fist close, he told him that it feels good to teach a gifted disciple a lesson. Zane's scream echoed at the mansion, pleading his master to be gentle. The next day at the youth academy, Sheena asked if Zane's face still hurts, but he denied it. Luma with his goons showed up, revealing that they will be thrown away like garbage. Sheena asked what they meant, but Zane told her not to worry about it. Chen greeted them as they arrived at the principal's office. He revealed that he had bad news, adding that they will be assigned to the Deep Blue City as frontliners. He handed them a notice and asked them to report to the organization. He told them that it was a bit of a stretch, but Zane accepted the decision. The latter deemed that it might be what his master said about being his own path. Luma showed up again, mocking Zane for offending the officials even if he had passed. They blocked their path, which made Zane's brows furrowed in anger. Luma's fist glowed in purple, asking Zane to fight because his strength had doubled. Zane rushed towards him for a punch to make him pay for the humiliation in the past. Their punch collided in the middle, causing force around them. Luma's bones suddenly crushed inside his hand. He cried and shouted in pain as he held his broken hand. Zane suddenly appeared in front of him, following an attack. His fist landed on his cheeks, sending him unconscious on the ground. Zane grabbed Sheena's hand, telling her to go to report on duty. Chen suddenly shouted, telling others to bring Luma to the infirmary because of kidney deficiency. Zane arrived at the reception, but the receptionist was busy playing, so he mentioned that he'll join. The receptionist finally raised his head due to shock upon hearing him joining. He got nervous and blurted out that Zahu wanted the two of them dead. He typed fast on his computer, saying that Zane is the captain of 0527 Squad. Within the Guardian organization, each city has a team responsible for overseeing other Guardians. He then instructed Zane and Sheena about the direction of his squad's office. Upon entering the office, they found out that the room was a complete mess. The two of them covered their faces in disbelief. A girl with red hair asked who they were, prompting Zane to introduce himself as the squad's captain. The man suddenly turned his gaze at them in confusion. He turned his back and chuckled because Zane is still young. He waved his hand to make them leave, causing Zane to think that he was pathetic. The man suddenly went out of bed. He leaned closer to Sheena and asked her to become his spirit. Zane suddenly punched him in the face, sending him away. The man's face cracked as he winced in pain. The man named Yuji was now drinking on the ground, while the girl named Yuna bid his goodbye to him. Yuji asked for drinking money, but Yuna shut the door and ignored him. He then told Zane and Sheena that the squad is poor, but Zane told him that it is only temporary. Yuji walked towards the laptop, pointing out that their squad is in the last ranking of points. He revealed that there were only 2 months left, and the organization will eliminate them. The lower town is disorderly, disgusting, and run down, which makes it difficult to survive. He threw the bottle of alcohol and told him to get lost if he doesn't want to die. Zane realized that Zahu is doing his best to get him into the lower town and let him die. Sheena told him to leave because Yuji is hopeless, but Zane held strong to solve the problem. He added that even if he dared to join another team, Zahu wouldn't let him go. He turned his back, saying that they should stay and reform the squad to make it the number 1. With eager resolve, he wanted Zahu's plan to go down in the drain. Yuna told them to get out, saying that they are not welcome there either. Zane spoke and called her by her real name, which prompted her to stand up and asked why he could see through her skill. Zane arrogantly told her that he already introduced himself and was just showing off a little of his strength. Yuna curiously asked what he was trying to do and told him not to threaten her, but he invited her to do the mission with him and she'll get half of the profit. She then reached for his hand and accepted the deal, realizing that he can see through her lies. Zane then instructed her to collect the missions and he will do the selection. Yuna showed him 3 tasks for their team. The missions were low in difficulty and points, which made it easier for them to complete. But Zane chose the mission with the most points, which was cleaning the Zerg, but it recommended 6 to 8 people. Yuna was shocked, asking if he was crazy because the recommended team is higher. But Zane told her that only that kind of mission will lead to point scoring to come back. She told him that he's crazy because failing the mission corresponds to deduction of points. But he turned his back, saying that he will take responsibility if it goes wrong. Yuna dismissed it since she agreed to work with him. Meanwhile, someone called his captain and announced that the sewer Zerg mission had been taken. The captain was surprised, asking who stole their mission. He then called his team out to check who stole the Zerg mission. Yuna told them to be careful because the life detector detected 8 second-order Zerg. Zane looked at Sheena and smiled at her. He then instantly rushed inside and told Yuna to wait at the entrance. Yuna shouted that it was a second order and a normal team can't take down even one. But all she heard was the commotion inside, prompting her to curse under her breath. She rushed inside instantly because something happened so soon. Landing inside, she found the 2 standing in the middle of corpses. Zane was now wiping his hand, telling her not to worry because it is over. Yuna's brows furrowed in shock, asking if he did all those. Zane confirmed, saying that the mission went well, and she can get a lot of money by collecting materials. Zane waves his hand, adding that the missing guardian is the dead guy. An hour later, multiple people were rushing inside. The group were shocked upon seeing that all 10 Zergs were dead. The guy checked and found out that it was all a one-hit kill. He told his captain that the mission had been completed, which made him wonder who did it. At the Protector's office, the assistant told Zahu that Zane's squad completed 2 missions and their points had been raised. Zahu slammed the table in rage, cursing his assistant. He gritted his teeth, eager to make Zane's life a living hell. He called his assistant Ben, ordering him to tell other squads to take all the missions. Back at the mansion, Zoro asked if Zane needed help dealing with Zahu, but he refused. He revealed that he is more concerned about the organization because they were doing nothing. Zoro told him that the roots were rotten and there is no treatment for them. That's why he chose Zane. The latter asked if Zoro wanted him to be the fire, but he only told him that the path is within himself. Zane then told his master that he can't break through the second level of 8 Fist. But Zoro replied that he must remember the words between life and death, which made him wonder about it. He laid down with satisfaction, finally having his rest. But Sheena entered his room and asked to sleep with him, which made him say that the mansion is too big for them to sleep together. She then revealed that Zoro locked all the other rooms available. He stood up and told her he will sleep on the floor for her. But Sheena refused, saying that he should also sleep in bed. The 2 of them then sleep peacefully through the night. The next day, Zane admitted that he had a good rest and wanted to find a new mission today. Yuna and Yuji were now inside and recited all the information he had. She then bowed to him and asked for forgiveness, but Zane only told her that they were fellows. Yuna told him that if he stayed there longer, he'd be useless sooner. But Zane did not agree, saying that he had the power to change his environment. Yuji turned to him, saying that he had offended Zahu and he'll do everything to make him banish. Yuna revealed that all the missions have been taken over and there's nothing left. Zane asked her about the other cities, which left her confused. He then changed their location to Kanghai City, refreshing the missions and accepting it like theirs. Yuna cursed in shock upon witnessing it. She then added that they had to travel to the nearby cities to complete the missions. However, the road out of the city is full of high-level Zerg monsters. Riding the car, 3 Zergs were waiting in front of them. Sheena asked what those were, to which Zane answered that they were first-order death flies. Yuji suddenly noticed something. He got up and shouted at them in horror. A whirlpool of death flies was now in front of them. Zane noticed the large number of Zergs, which made it destructive. Yuji laughed in excitement and asked them to rush over those Zergs. Yuna called their captain. She pointed out that there is a caravan being chased by a storm of death flies. She asked if he wanted to rescue them, to which Zane answered that she should turn a hard right and rescue them with full power. Yuji raised his bottle of wine and enthusiastically cheered for them, while Yuna told them to sit tight as she maneuvered the steering wheel. Yuji was thrown at the back because of the force, but he still grinned widely despite having bruises. Their car greeted the storm while the caravan was running away from it. The butler told the young lady named Tina that the storm will catch up to their speed. It was impossible for the reinforcement to arrive, so he thought of something. He held the radio and ordered everyone to execute the sacrifice plan. Tina asked them to get back, but the guards told her that it was their duty to protect her. Their cars stopped as they faced the storm, executing the command. They all fired their guns as they tried to stop the Zergs. It caused an explosion on the approaching storm. They all shouted in pain as the storm succumbed to all of them. Tina cried while blaming herself for their deaths. She then looked out the window, confused by the sound. Golden crescents were surging towards the storm. It was Zane's attack as he played his zither. A bunch of golden crescents were emitted as he continued to play. It then surged towards the Zergs and killed them one by one. Tina looked out the window in disbelief. Both their cars were now driving side by side away from the storm. Zane raised his hand while still playing his zither. Tina couldn't believe that there was someone who could disperse the storm. The storm suddenly emitted dark tendrils as it circles. Dark shards were now approaching their directions. Yuji shouted for Zane to be careful and covered him from the shards. The shards pierced through his body, causing him to land on the car. He laughed and told Zane that it was enjoyable while the latter noticed that it was poisonous. But Yuji's body secreted the shards itself, causing all of it to fall on the hood. Zane got curious and checked Yuji's ability. He saw that he had an SS-level immortality talent, which made him wonder. Yuji sat down, knowing that Zane was confused, and asked him to beg for answers. But Zane turned his back at him, saying that he is not interested at all. The sneeze echoed through the car. Zane thought that someone was thinking of him, while Sheena announced that they had arrived. Yuji looked up to see what's in front of them. It was a bunch of Zergs roaring at them. It is as if they were only waiting for their prey. Sheena's brows furrowed while being alerted. Zane then called out to her as they were about to start the mission. A lot of Zergs rushed towards their car in all directions, but Zane played music on his zither to attack them. Blue energy started attacking the Zergs, causing them to roar in pain. All the Zergs landed on the ground lifelessly. Yuji couldn't believe that another batch of Zergs were killed in seconds, while Yuna admitted that he blows her mind all the time. The monitor showed that every mission had been completed. The other masters were watching the monitors. They were shocked because it had been a one-sided massacre. The man told them that it was the Deep Blue City 0527 squad. He tossed the tablet in rage because they have been stealing their points. He asked the Team 1 to follow him on a mission, to which they instantly agreed. Upon arriving on the mission site, they were displeased by Zane's squad for being a mission bully. The other two excitedly told each other that they will show off their strengths, but their captain asked them to look ahead. They found out that the demon tail snakes were cut in pieces on the ground. The captain clenched his fist, saying that the mission bullies are going too far. He called out Soya to find the mission bullies, to which the latter instantly agreed. But his teammate stopped the captain, saying that they had left the city. He revealed that someone saw their black pickup leave the city after completing the mission. The captain puffed upon hearing it, prompting his teammate to ask what was wrong. At the headquarters of the guard organization, Ming found it strange that the mission completion rate increased. He asked his assistant to look for the files of mission bullies he mentioned. He opted to see who he really was. The assistant arrived and brought the accessed files to him. He then ordered him to go back first. He found the file information of Yuji and Yuna. He gritted his teeth upon knowing that they were top-secret files. He was thinking that the last of the files can't be a top-secret too, but he found Zane's file having nothing. His telephone suddenly rang, which caught his attention. He greeted the caller, which was Jugo on the other line. He was shocked upon knowing that it was Jugo, the person in charge of the second war zone. He politely asked his intention, but Jugo told him not to dig into the top-secret files. Ming fixed his glasses, saying that it was outrageous. Meanwhile, a massive Zerg loomed before Zane and roared at him. The massive Zerg surged towards Zane while he emitted golden crescents to attack. It then launched an attack towards him, but Zane managed to dodge as he leapt above and killed the Zerg. Their mission number 18 has been completed, while Zane asked Yuna to check their points. The latter instantly followed, with Yuji cheering and saying that they must be number 1. Their total points is 1,800, but their ranking is still dead last. Yuji and Sheena were shocked, asking how it was possible. Zane grabbed the tablet, suspecting that it was because of Zahu. The second to the last is 2,300 points, just a little ahead of them, but there were dozens of them. Zane realized that they used points control and agreed to tie up scores. Yuna cursed, realizing that they have been targeted constantly. Zane turned his back, telling them not to worry because they still have a chance to take over, to which his team instantly agreed. Later, the two of them arrived at Zoro's mansion. The latter asked about their trip, but Zane admitted that the result was not good. He added that they had saved a merchant's convoy. Zoro laughed because Tina was pestering him on how to awaken her talent and become a spirit. He revealed that they had been old friends with Tina's family, and they were among top 5s. Zane's brows furrowed, finding out that Tina's identity is not that simple. Turns out that it was on purpose for her to return, but got interrupted by Zane. But Zoro told him that it's alright because they were escorting his thing, which was a gift to Zane. He opened the case, revealing 2 breakthrough potions. Zane recognized that it enhances everything, while Zoro asked the two of them to swallow each. The two of them gave their gratitude and grabbed the potions. They then drank the potions with no hesitation. Zane felt the powerful energy surrounding him as he leveled up to 2, while Sheena unlocked the divinity of heavens with 4 elements. Zane turned to her and found out that a new divinity appeared. A music note and golden energy surrounded him. He managed to unlock the spring, wildfire, and 6-dimensional thunder. The two of them were now gasping for breath. Zane looked at his hand and said that the potion is too powerful for him to unlock new skills. Sheena's cheeks flushed, saying that it was amazing to have so much power inside her. Zoro praised them, saying that they didn't disappoint him with their performance. Zane's phone suddenly rang. It was Yuna telling him that a new mission had been refreshed. It was a Zerg Ranger with 1,000 points and a threat level of tier 3+. Zane told Yuna to meet them at the Ixixia street to discuss the mission. He then grabbed Sheena's hand and told her that there is a new mission. Zoro looked at his cup, saying that it was an eventful day. Afu told him that Lion has been found at Kanghai City, but she doesn't want to come back. Meanwhile, at Shixia Street, Yuji and Yuna has been waiting for the two. Yuna asked if Zane thought about the mission. He then asked that they should to overtake the points. Yuna told him that Rangers, even the younglings, are too dangerous for them. But Zane asked her if she know what Red Alert means, prompting her to ask. It means that once they grow, they will destroy the city, and as guardians they should protect humanity. A group of people gathers, seeing the Rangers' special talent, the Black Tent. Shiro, the team captain, told them that Black Tent can isolate perception. Tofu asked why the organization sent them and made the mission public, but Shiro answered that they need scapegoats. Their mouths parted in amusement as they realized. Shiro grinned, telling them not to do anything until the first batch fodder gets in. He then spotted Zane and his team. Meanwhile, Zane told his team to be careful because of Black Tent. Yuna asked if he was ready because there is no turning back. Yuji told them that it won't work on him while Zane told them not to worry about it. The four of them locked in as they went inside the tent. Dark smoke covered the whole building. They had arrived inside the abandoned building. Zane announced that the Zerg aura inside is strong, so they must stay alert. Sheena revealed that it felt like she was being stared at by a pair of invisible eyes. They walked inside while staying with one another. Sheena asked Zane if he heard the strange noise. They felt like there was a force sucking their life out. Yuna revealed that the Black Tent has life deprivation and will suck their life force until they die. Yuji added that they only have half an hour to finish it, or they'll be a nutrient to the Ranger. Yuna pointed in front, asking if he was talking about the black ball, to which Yuji agreed as they stared in front. He added that it was really it, as it glowed red inside. Zane asked if they only had to smash it, but the ground they were standing on seemed to have melted. The four of them got alerted as they started to sink. Yuna cursed as half of her body shrank. Yuji grabbed her and told her to be careful. Zane told them to hold on as he was coming to save them. But the ground started moving as it loomed before them. Zane revealed that it is the second talent of a ranger. It gives life to other things. Sheena glowed, telling him to break through it together. She transformed into a zither and positioned in front of Zane. The latter's eyes glowed in gold, determined to fight it together. He let out a golden crescent to attack. It landed on the ground and caused an explosion. The ground broke from the attack, but it instantly recovered. Zane noticed its strong recovery speed, thinking that it's impossible to break down. The ground suddenly cornered them, as if creating a prison. Zane noticed that the ranger was trying to trap them inside. A light showed up, as the Zerg started surging from the back and alerting Sheena. It hissed behind Zane, causing him to turn his head. Fortunately, he managed to dodge the attack as it passed through him. It then shrinks on the wall ground. Zane seems to have recognized the Zerg, prompting Sheena to ask what it was, but he grabbed her and instantly told her to go quickly, while the Zerg's eyes glowed in fiery red. Shiro's team arrived inside the abandoned building. He asked everyone to stay sharp because there won't be any fresh cannon fodder. Tofu told him not to worry because they were third-tier spirit masters. The ground started shaking, alerting all of them. A wall suddenly showed up between them, separating each. Tofu then told everyone to watch out. He then asked if Shiro was okay. He grabbed his shoulder and tried to call him again. Shiro turned around as if he was possessed. He then roared and gripped Tofu's neck, prompting him to ask. A small Zerg went out of his head and instantly jumped on Tofu's eyes. Meanwhile, Yuna thanked Yuji, while he noticed that the Wanderer is trying to take them down one by one. Yuna asked if he can't feel the invisible strength, to which he answered that he does, but it is nothing. She envied him for not worrying about his life, but Yuji answered that it was kind of a punishment. He then suggested that they just give up completely since they can't leave, but Yuna refused because she knows that they can. She raised her hand and the wall glowed, asking it to wake up. The wall suddenly cracked. The prison then started shaking, with Yuji being in disbelief. A silhouette suddenly showed from a distance. Yuna called him out, thinking it was the captain. She then told him to be careful, which alerted him. Zane then jumped while holding his zither as the wall crumbled. Yuna and Yuji rushed towards him as he landed on the debris. He then called them out as he finally found them. Yuna admitted that she used her gift to dissolve the maze. Zane suddenly shouted at them, telling them to watch their backs. A massive stone fist was about to hit them, but Zane managed to cut it in half to save them. He then rushed in front of them, asking them to get out of the way. The golem loomed before them as it roared. While Yuna deemed it not good, Zane suddenly shouted, asking his swift wind to rise. The golem roared before them as the wind engulfed the team. Yuji and Yuna were sent flying as the golden light flashes, caught in a strong shockwave. The two of them shouted in pain, while Zane revealed that it was all summoned by the Wanderer and they must destroy its body. After it releases the black veil, it succumbs to the darkness, and what's left is the black sphere. If they shatter the sphere, they will be able to kill the Wanderer. Yuna told him to go ahead and the two of them will back him up. The golem roared as it rushed towards them to launch an attack. Yuji suddenly leapt upward. He was now covered in gold as he called out his immortality. He then welcomed the attack. He informed Zane that his immortality can only withstand 6 hits, so he should find a solution quickly. Zane moved quickly, asking him to hold on and he would kill the body. He was now covered with blue lightning as he summoned the 6 divine guardians of heaven. The blue lightning crackles and instantly directs towards the golem. The gods heard Zane's call and responded with divine retribution. The Zerg continued with its rampage while Yuji tried to block it. Suddenly, the divine lightning struck down the Zerg. It was so powerful that Yuji was hit by its shockwave. Another divine lightning came down with force, cracking the black ball in front of them. In no time, the black ball immediately disintegrated into dust. Seeing this, Yuji couldn't help but smile at their victory, but when he looked to the side, he saw Zane's body pierced with a fist. He was then thrown around and slammed to the side. A humanoid Zerg appeared, threatening to not let them escape. Yuji was surprised to see this powerful monster, but what's more surprising is that Yuna was the one who brought it. She has been disguising it with her lies, waiting for the perfect chance to attack. Zane got up and asked her why she was doing it. Yuna began shedding tears as she laughed like a psycho. She then said that she simply wanted to kill them. Zane then said that it was the second time he had seen this state. Yuji asked what he meant, to which Zane explained Yuna was parasitized. The eroding worm is a 4th-tier insect species capable of brain erosion. Aside from the manipulative ability, it can also reproduce asexually. There was once a powerful master who was infested by this parasite and destroyed the city. The organizations managed to kill him, but the losses were heavy. Zane wondered why a species that's supposed to be extinct 32 years ago appears now. Yuji told him to go first while he covered him, but Zane knew they couldn't escape. The adult wanderer's black veil is now more powerful than ever, and they'll be killed immediately. He then told him to just buy him enough time for one song as he prepared his skill. His injury began healing as he activated his skills. Yuna saw this and immediately told the adult wanderer to stop him. The latter complied, unleashing a powerful beam from his hands. Yuji quickly acted and rushed forward to block. He took the powerful attack head-on, protecting Zane behind him. Yuna activated his lie skill and declared that Yuji's immortal body is fake. In response, Yuji headbutted her and said it won't work. Suddenly, the eroding worm came out of Yuna's body. It then bit Yuji's arms, making the latter wince in pain. He immediately pulled the insect before it could enter his body. He gritted his teeth and crushed the insect with his bare hands. The adult wanderer then charged his lightning, saying, "Things are getting interesting." He fired it toward Yuji, testing how long he could last. The lightning streaked through the air and approached Yuji. The latter erected his immortal barrier to shield himself from the attack. He turned around and asked Zane how much longer he should stall for time. He released Sheena from her weapon form and asked her to handle the eroding worm with Yuji. Sheena reverted to her human form and complied. Meanwhile, Zane activated his 8 quick fists to unleash his full power. He kicked to the ground, shattering it as he propelled himself upward. He approached the adult wanderer with the sheer intention to kill. Zane unleashed a powerful attack, but the adult wanderer evaded. The attack crashed down on the ground, producing smoke and dust. The adult wanderer pulled out his weapon upon seeing Zane's power. He now plans to take the fight seriously and raises his sword. He unleashed a powerful sword wave against Zane. The latter just raised his fist and literally punched the sword energy. Afterward, the attack shattered and began dispersing. The adult wanderer was surprised and asked why he had those gloves. It once killed a Zerg king 10 years ago, and such gauntlets should only be wielded by the strong. But Zane said that the adult wanderer isn't the Zerg king either as he launched an attack. The attack connected, unleashing a powerful shockwave. The adult wanderer was excited that he could kill Zane and make the owner of the gauntlet sad. His fist connected and tore the shoulder of the enemy. But the Zerg responded by piercing his shoulder with a blade. The two of them backed away, disengaging temporarily from the fight. Zane thought he had to kill it before it could absorb the energy of the younger ranger. He closed his eyes and began concentrating his energy. He activated the second fist of the 8 deadly fists technique. He propelled himself forward, eyes burning with determination to kill. The adult wanderer was surprised by the sudden spike in his speed and power. Zane's fist connected to the adult wanderer's chest, cracking it down. With that single punch, he tore a hole through the adult wanderer's body. He stood triumphantly, declaring that he defeated the enemy. But then, the adult wanderer said it was Zane who lost this match. Zane was then surprised when he finally realized what the enemy meant. He couldn't believe it as he saw the adult wanderer's body recovering. In no time, the adult wanderer was back to his normal form and declared it was all over. Yuji then reported that Yuna was missing, surprising Zane. Suddenly, countless chains propelled from the ground and surrounded them. Zane immediately recognized that the situation wasn't good for them. Meanwhile, the adult wanderer lifted a boulder and threatened to kill everyone. He launched it toward them with all his might. Yuji immediately stepped forward to catch the boulder. He gritted his teeth as he urged Zane to hurry. After all, he can barely withstand the attack with his immortality dropped to 0. Zane realized that Yuji couldn't hold on any longer. While Yuji tried his very best to stop the boulder, a massive punch of annihilation suddenly fell from the sky. The adult wanderer was surprised by the sudden attack and wondered what it was. But before he realized it, he had already disintegrated into nothingness. The fist energy began dispersing before it reached Zane and the others. They looked up in surprise, wondering what had happened. There, they saw Zoro hovering confidently with the aura of a veteran. He smiled, relieved that he made it in time. Zane saw his master, surprised as he called him. But before he could finish, he began fainting from exhaustion. Fortunately, the others were there to catch him. Zoro ordered them to take Zane back first, as he will clear the place. Yuji wondered what he meant when he said he would clear the place, not knowing that there was still one eroding worm dashing to escape the place. At the hospital, Zane suddenly woke up while frantically warning his master to be careful. Sheena was happy to see that he was finally awake, while he wondered how he got to the hospital. Sheena explained that he fainted while Zoro cleared the place. Zane then asked if Yuji was okay, to which Sheena revealed that he was in the ICU. Attempting to stop the meteorite took a huge toll on his body. Suddenly, a nurse barged in and asked if they had seen Yuji. The two were surprised as they asked what happened to Yuji. The nurse said he is missing. Zane was surprised upon hearing this. Sheena thought that he might have gone to find both Yuna and the Eclipse Zerg. Zane agreed and added that he must have guessed something and went to investigate alone. But Zane was even more surprised to hear that the City Guardians deducted points from their team. He whined that they were pulling these tricks behind their back while they're risking their lives. He asked if the master said anything about this matter. He was then happy to hear from Sheena that the master is hinting that he's backing them up. With this, he immediately pulled Sheena's hands and walked away. At the base of the City Guardians, everyone was happy that they looted a lot without doing much work. Suddenly, Zane kicked the door open and angrily barged in. Without a shred of hesitation, he demanded Zahu to get out. One of Zahu's lackeys sarcastically greeted him, but Zane continued to call out for Zahu. The lackey turned out to be hiding a secret weapon behind his back. He then suddenly attacked, telling Zane it's not his place to go wild. Zane responded with a slap to his cheek. That one slap brought his face to kiss the floor. Zane activated his energy and berated the lackey. The others recorded him, planning to report Zane to the higher-ups. The lackey charged forward with his knife, eager to get back at him. Zane caught his hands, surprising him. He then flailed the poor man around like a rag. Suddenly, a voice echoed and told him enough. It was Zahu, angrily asking him what he wanted. Zane demanded that he apologize to him and his team. Zahu scoffed at him and said he was daydreaming. He then turned to a lackey and asked if he sent the video to the headquarters. Hearing that it was done, Zahu was certain Zane would be punished. The lackey then reported that the headquarters said they won't interfere in this matter. Even the supervisory department was only interested in Zane joining them. Zahu pulled out his earpiece, then angrily slammed it to the floor in disbelief. Zahu asked how he wanted him to apologize so he wouldn't continue to cause trouble. Zane said he just wanted to open their treasure vault and let him choose until he's satisfied. Zahu said it was unacceptable, to which Zane explained that he would only fill both his hands. Zahu was speechless and fell into deep thought. After careful consideration, he agreed that Zane would only take what he could using his hands. Zane let go of the lackey and accepted the deal. He scoffed and looked at him with mischievous eyes. He prepared his space storage ring, sarcastically promising to take treasures with his hands only. They immediately went to the treasure vault of the City Guardians organization. A lackey was worried that something might go wrong, but Zahu assured him nothing would happen. He knew that he can't take much with just his two hands. The lackey agreed, saying what he said makes sense. Inside, Zane whipped out his book on treasure appraisals. He looked around, amazed by lots of treasures inside the vault. There were the limbs of a skeleton ant and even the wings of a ghost butterfly. There also was the winter flower named Linden, which is semi-dormant. He was then surprised to see another treasure hanging on the wall. It was the shell of the 6th order wall crab. He smiled, thinking all of these are good stuff. He used his storage ring to suck in all of the treasures inside the vault. An hour later, Zahu was pissed and wondered why he hadn't come out yet. It was then that Zane finally came out of the vault. The lackey and Zahu noticed that he came out empty-handed. Sheena welcomed him and asked what he took, to which he said he will tell her when they get back. They began walking home, leaving everyone stunned. The lackey wondered why he didn't take anything. Zahu asked the administrator and asked, to which they said 5. Zahu said it was all right, but the administrator clarified it was 50% and not 5 items. Zahu almost exploded in both surprise and rage. The lackey told Zahu that Zane was crazy, while the old man couldn't even contain his rage. He was certain that the City Guardians organization would let him go. But then, the lackey said that the headquarters only responded nicely done to their situation. With this, Zahu doesn't even know whether to get pissed or be confused. Back at their house, Zane placed his storage ring on the desk. He was certain that Zahu won't be cocky again after this lesson. Suddenly, the alluring Sheena entered the room and invited him to bed. Zane blushed when he realized that she's inviting him to sleep together. She then jumped on him, saying she will not let him go no matter what. Suddenly, a woman entered the room in the midst of their love ritual. She wondered who was making so much noise in the middle of the night. The three of them stared at each other, making the atmosphere awkward. Sheena immediately got off, wondering why there's another person in that house. It turns out that this woman was the granddaughter of their master. She is Lion, and she turned out to be one of the 10 great ancient magic weapons. Zane asked if it was okay for her to wear those clothes, to which she said she was comfortable with it. After all, it helps her gain creative ideas as an online best-selling author. She then apologized for bothering them and told them to continue their deed. She smiled and said that if they don't want to continue, she will be the one to do the deed with Zane. Sheena stopped her, saying she was being too careless. But it turns out that Lian was just there to sign a contract, and not do the deed. Sheena smiled, realizing she had misunderstood the situation. Zane agreed that her talent is indeed divine, and he can awaken her the second time. With this, Lian immediately prepared to sign the contract quickly. Zane asked why she opened her blouse, to which Lian said she was signing the contract. She added that contracts are only made after close contact. Zane and Sheena were too stunned to speak upon hearing her words. Zane sighed, saying he had no choice but to help her out. He summoned his light chains that surrounded Lian. He then activated his divine light. Lian felt Zane's energy coursing through her whole body. She said it was so hot, like a stream of heat, entering her body. This heat was comfortable for her, and it helped her break through as an SSS-level spirit. Zane was surprised that her true talent is to refine true essence. The energy around Lian's body began to disperse. She then looked at her newly awakened state, surprised as she realized her talent. Meanwhile, Sheena left to get a glass of water while they tried her talent. She said that it was surprising that Lian was also a divine-level spirit. But as she was about to get water, she heard strange noises from the room. She continued listening. Their dialogue was too weird for her. She then barged inside the room, thinking they were doing something. But they turned out to be testing Lian's powers and nothing else. Sheena felt embarrassed as she realized she was thinking in a dirty manner. The ingredients they tested are now being refined. The pills landed on Zane's palms while he praised Lian's talent. Sheena asked what it was, to which he explained it was a spiritual energy pill. Suddenly, Lian jumped on Zane and said the alchemy fire in her body has not been dispelled yet. The two of them fell to the ground, while Lian got on top of him. She urged him to hurry and extinguish the refined true fire inside him. Suddenly, Zane pulled Sheena and asked for her help. Lian couldn't help but feel a strange sense of comfort in what they were doing. Sheena also jumped in and joined, getting on top of Zane. Lian felt like she was about to ascend to heaven from the comfort. Zane groaned, gritting his teeth. The women on top of him seemed to enjoy what they were doing. Lian didn't get off on top of him and continued. The night passed quickly over the city. The next morning, Zane woke up feeling tired, while the girls were resting on him. Both of them were praising his capability, saying their body has become much more refined. Zane then stood up, ready to take on the day. He revealed to Lian that they will be investigating the missing members of their team. Sheena added that they will be searching for Yuna as she whipped out her photo. Lian said she was familiar with this person, saying she frequents the dance hall. Sheena was surprised, to which she said she goes to the dance hall often. Zane was pleased that he was able to get a clue this easily. He then sprayed them a terrible smelling scent, revealing it was a heather spray that irritates the Zerg. At the dance hall, lots of women were seen partying and drinking. The three of them then approached the DJ and asked if Yuna was there. In response, the DJ flashed an ominous smile upon hearing her name. Zane confirmed that he was indeed looking for Yuna. Hearing this, all the other men in the room were surprised. The DJ then declared to everyone that Zane will be paying for everyone present. Everyone happily cheered upon hearing this announcement. Zane was confused, while the DJ said it was put on his credit by a customer yesterday. Sheena thought it was mean, while Zane knew it was Yuji. The DJ handed him a box Yuji left for him. Zane looked at it and wondered what it was. He opened the box slowly. Inside, he found a note and carefully read it. The note told him important dates related to the Zerg. Lian wondered what Yuji was trying to say. Zane said that it means there are now 7 parasites in total. The girls stared at him in agreement. Zane told them to wait for him and excused himself to the bathroom. He entered the bathroom with haste. A man was on his way, and he excused himself since he needed to pee urgently. While he was peeing, the man wondered what that smell was. The man was then pissed to recognize that it smells like heather. The man angrily charged at him, saying he hates heather flowers the most. But Zane was unfazed as he watched the man's incoming fist. With one move from him, he sent the man reeling backward. Afterward, an eroding worm came out of the man's head. Zane caught it with his bare hands, recognizing it was the Eclipse Zerg. The insect tried its best to escape his grasp, but Zane mercilessly crushed it with his hands. Meanwhile, Lian and Sheena frantically rushed to check what had happened. They saw the man lying on the floor and Zane explained the situation. They wondered where the others were since this man is one of the 7 Eclipse Zerg. Zane proposed they get out of there to find some clues. Suddenly, another man charged at him with a knife in his hand. Zane effortlessly evaded the ambush, then countered with a vicious kick to the man's gut. Another eroding worm came out of the man's head afterward. Before it could even get away, Zane instantly killed it. Lian wondered if it was one of the Eclipse Zerg again. Sheena recognized the man as Zahu's subordinate. Hearing this, Zane realized that all the people infected by the Eclipse Zerg are related to the Breeze Dance Hall. He pointed to the unconscious man, figuring out that the culprit behind this is none other than Zahu. But this comes with an urgent realization. He now knows where Yuji is going. Meanwhile, Zahu was having the time of his life at his base. The girl he was doing the deed with was praising him for his power. But in the midst of their intense session, a silhouette suddenly barged in the room. It was none other than Yuji, angrily confronting Zahu. Yuji recited all the heinous crimes Zahu had committed. He angrily declared that he won't let him get away, but in response, Zahu only mocked him. Yuji blamed him for Yuna's disappearance and decided he would settle the score. Zahu asked him if he was not afraid of his reinforcement. Suddenly, several armed men came into the room. Zahu told them to execute him on the spot. Hearing this, everyone immediately went after Yuji's life. But Yuji won't go down without a fight and has activated his skill. It was then that Zane entered the place together with Shina and Lion. The men who attacked Yuji were brought down by his skill. Zahu was surprised to see him in that place. Same goes for Yuji, but Zane said he won't watch Yuji get assaulted alone. Hearing this, Yuji was stunned and speechless. Zane then told everyone to stay back if they didn't want to die. The armed men were confident in their numbers and charged forward. Zane flashed a confident smirk before disappearing into thin air. In a split second, he managed to take down 3 enemies at once. He landed on the ground, leaving the enemies unconscious on the floor. Seeing this, Yuji thought he'd gotten better at fighting in such a short time. Meanwhile, Lion reported that Zahu is running away. Zane immediately went after him. He landed in front of him, blocking his escape path. He then launched a destructive fist that pierced through the old man's chest. Even at his death, he still curses at Zane. He fell to the ground with a hole on his chest, while an eroding worm came out of his head. Zane noticed the worm, then swiftly punched it against the wall. Seeing the insect's crushed body, he was surprised to learn that it was not the mother Zerg. Meanwhile, Zahu's lackeys were angry at him for actually killing their leader. Finally, Zane realized that they had fallen into a trap. Half an hour ago, the mayor's secretary brought a document that needed the mayor's signature. But when the mayor turned around, there was an eroding Zerg entering his head. The secretary was utterly horrified by the sight, and it was followed by a desperate scream that was silenced afterward. Back to the present, Zane was having a bad feeling about the situation. He ordered the 3 of them to find Zoro to help them. He urged everyone to go immediately, since there's not much time left. Meanwhile, the infected mayor announced a wanted notice on Zane for Zahu's assassination. He smirked, saying he didn't expect the bait would be eaten so quickly. Zane walked out of the place, leaving everyone staring at him. He thought he must separate himself from the others so they won't get dragged into this. But as he went out, he was surprised by the sight that greeted him. Above him was the old man Kutong, riding a hovercraft. With one order from him, he forced Zane to kneel down. Back at Zoro's base, the old man was serving tea for an old friend who came to visit him. The mysterious old friend told Zoro that his disciple will be executed tomorrow. Zoro's face darkened as he stayed still. His mood shifted into that of a threatening predator. But the hooded man was not bothered since he was just a clone. Zoro smiled, saying he forgot about it. He then said that it's no problem while the mysterious hooded man left. Afterward, Jugo stepped up and asked Zoro if he should help Zane. However, Zoro can't take action yet since Zane is their bait. After all, the situation is like a chess game for him. Back at the headquarters, Zane was tied tightly to a chair. He asked Kutong what crime he committed, only to get punched in the chest by the old man. Kutong grabbed his hair, saying Zoro won't come to save him now. He said that Zane can only join them or be executed. The latter realized that he was the one behind the Zergs infesting the city. He smirked, saying this makes it easier for him to choose. The old man asked what he would choose, to which he said he would choose the third one. Kutong was enraged, saying he was overestimating himself. The next day, Zane was escorted by the soldiers to the execution platform. The mayor watched the show and asked about the escapees along with Zane. The soldier said they failed to catch him since they were cunning. The mayor dismissed him, to which the soldier complied. He looked at Zane, wondering why he was so calm when he was about to be killed. Meanwhile, Zane was wondering why his master hinted that he should let things be. Lots of people looked at him, recognizing he was the one who awakened the SSS level talent. The mayor stood up to speak, catching the attention of everyone. They were surprised that the city lord himself came personally. The mayor began his public speech, reciting Zane's fabricated crimes. This incited the anger of the masses as they chanted for him to get killed. Seeing the crowd's reaction, the mayor was certain of Zane's death. He then ordered the execution of Zane. The soldier at the execution platform complied and pulled the lever. The guillotine blade was hanging just a meter above Zane's neck. Just as the soldier pressed the button, the guillotine blade did not move at all. The soldier was surprised and wondered if the machine was broken. The mayor angrily asked who dared to interrupt the execution. It turns out to be Tina, declaring that Zane is her benefactor. The mayor was surprised to see her and the merchants getting involved in this matter. It was then that Sheena and the others revealed themselves and voiced disagreement. The mysterious man reported to Zoro that Zane has been sent to the guillotine already, but Zoro knew the game was not over yet. He confidently added that it is too early to draw conclusions. The mysterious man told him to just wait and see before leaving. On the phone, the voice reported that the mysterious man left quickly. Zoro then accused that he was the mysterious man, to which the voice on the phone denied. He reported that the organization behind this incident is called Breaking Dawn. Back at the execution ground, everyone was surprised that there were people who dared to stop the execution. Tina and the merchants said that Zane is not a criminal but a hero. She then gestured to a big monitor above. It flashed Zane's courageous attempt of fighting the Zerg for mankind and the country. He fearlessly led the retaliation against the Zergs so they wouldn't harm the city. Everyone was convinced that Zane was patriotic. But then, Kutong told everyone to shut up. Yuji and Sheena were surprised by his strong aura and wondered who he was. Kutong declared that killing Zane is their mission as the Breaking Dawn, and no one could interfere. He unleashed a powerful palm energy towards Zane. The palm energy crashed on the ground with violent force, resulting in a powerful explosion afterward. But then, Kutong was surprised by what happened next. A powerful attack suddenly connected to his stomach. Everyone wondered what happened. They didn't see the person who did it. Sheena then noticed a silhouette from the top of the building. It was Zoro, leaping off from the top. The mayor angrily activated his skills to kill Zane, but the latter decided it's time for him to fight back now that his master has moved. The mayor's fist went straight into him, crashing down and causing a powerful explosion. But the mayor was surprised by Zane's speed. When he realized it, Zane was already behind him preparing an attack. A powerful fist connected on his face, sending him down to the ground with a powerful force. The mayor laid down unconscious, while Zane stared at him. It was then that the Mother Eclipse Zerg came out of his head. Zane didn't waste time and immediately caught the Mother Eclipse Zerg. He crushed it with his bare hands. Everyone was terrified to see that a Zerg had come out of the mayor's head. Zane raised his hands and revealed to everyone that he's been protecting everyone from the Zerg. The people finally realized that it was the reason the mayor looked so strange. Zoro came down and asked him how the experience was. Zane said it certainly feels good to have his master's help, but he'd rather do it alone next time. Zoro commended him for his great work. He added that it was a shame he killed Kutong in one go and was not able to extract more information. Zane was confused, so Zoro explained that there was a mysterious organization among their city guardians. Zane was surprised to hear the existence of the Dawn. Meanwhile, Yuji worriedly reported that Yuna's body has been found already. Hearing this, he couldn't help but feel sad. He asked Yuji where she was. The latter revealed her body is in a coffin together with others for a sea burial. Everyone was mourning for Yuna and the others' deaths. Zane looked to the sea, apologizing to Yuna for being unable to protect her. Meanwhile, thick veins began popping on Yuna's corpse. His head turned purple, as if something dark was awakening inside. She opened her eyes, and she was infected by a ghost-looking Zerg. Time quickly passed, and the fall of October has come. Zoro confirmed that Zane was able to break through the 3rd level. Lion also advanced to the 3rd level and caught up to them. On the other hand, Sheena awakened many other songs. Tina asked if she could make a contract with him too, but Zane said he could only do it with divinities. Tina was sad, regretful that she had no divinity. Zane told Zoro that he wanted to become stronger and eradicate the Zerg gradually. Zoro then said he'd arrange a plane for him tomorrow for the front battlefield training. But since it's training, he said that the girls can't go with Zane. The latter agreed, saying he will trouble Master for the arrangements then. At the frontline battlefield of the Dragon Kingdom, the roaring of tanks firing missiles were echoing all throughout. Reptilian Zergs were seen wreaking havoc around the city. The others were busy tending to the wounded soldiers. Meanwhile, Zeke asked why Kyo is back. The latter replied that they are in a disadvantageous situation, but Zeke continued to scold him. Kyo was pissed and flaunted his mark, saying he's there on an elite mission. Suddenly, Zeke was stunned upon noticing something. There was a chopper landing on the battleground, carrying their reinforcements. Coming out of it was Zane alone, no one else. The latter introduced himself to the two of them, while they were surprised. Kyo asked why he's alone and where her contract spirit was, to which he said they were at home. Kyo angrily asked if he came here alone to die. Zeke told him to calm down, since this young man is most likely a noble from the city. Kyo knew this, and he was certain Zane would be a pain to deal with. Kyo asked Zeke to take Zane to their team first, but he refused, and said that they agreed for him to choose first. Kyo laughed, telling him to forget about it. He called out to Zane, asking him to come and meet the other teammates. Zane introduced himself while Kyo did the same as the captain of his current team. He also introduced their other two teammates named Kira and Kaya. Kaya complained while trying to remove her jacket, saying that she got wet on a mission. The jacket has now stuck on her hand, unable to remove it. She turned at Zane, asking him to help her remove her clothes. He then agreed and helped her. She then turned to him again and gave her thanks. Kaya turned to their captain, confused why Zane didn't bring his spirits with them. Zane raised his hand with a Zumi ring, saying that he brought a gift for them. 3 level 6 armor suddenly showed up, causing them to react in shock. Kira and Kaya rejoice upon receiving it, saying that he is very welcome to the team. But Kyo refused because he doesn't need it as a mecha operator. He then told them that he will get the next task and supplies they needed. Zane asked if he really was a mecha operator, to which the two revealed his story. Kaya suddenly apologized, saying that she forgot that Zane came from the bigwigs also. Kyo tossed the supplies to them, saying that they should get ready. Zane asked about their mission, which Kyo revealed that it was to cut off the descendants. He added that the Izaki snake tribe reproduced very quickly and increased their troops. That's the reason why the first war zone and the Izaki snakes were locked in for a month. But Wade arrived and broke through the reinforcement supply line of the snakes. He revealed that the order came from the second war zone to destroy the snake's nest. He then walked away, saying that their time was running out. He was now operating a mecha, telling his team to stay alert because they were approaching the target location. Zane was alerted, saying that they had arrived. He was now looking at the massive snake's skin, hanging on the tree. The other teammates wonder what that is, to which Kyo revealed that it was the snake skin molt, and they shed skin upon completing another level. Zane noticed how cunning the snakes were, because they had hidden the eggs in there. An enormous amount of eggs were also hanging on the skin. Kyo revealed how long the snake's skin is, and that there are 100 million eggs hidden. One of the eggs started to crack, which caught the attention of Kira and Kaya. Then many other eggs followed and started cracking too. Kira and Kaya covered their ears because of the annoying sound, while Kyo was standing and withstanding the force. But he failed and was sent away from the scene, causing him to shout in horror. Zane followed up to him while trying to reach his hand, prompting the two other teammates to call out their names. As they were falling, Kyo shouted to Zane to complete the mission and ignore saving him. But Zane managed to grab the mecha's hand. He then gritted his teeth and tried to pull him out with all his strength. He then shouted to his captain to pick him up, which Kyo heard and got alerted. The captain then landed on the ground, while the other two were calling out for Zane's name. Kyo wonders how it was possible, and why Zane has immense strength. Kira told him that the cliff was so high and Zane must have fallen to death. Kyo suddenly knelt down. He was now apologizing and blaming himself for what happened. But a hand suddenly grabbed the edge of the cliff. It was Zane, telling them that he is not dead and to pull him up quickly. Kaya and Kira smiled in surprise as they pulled him up. They were happy that he was still alive. Kyo called him an idiot for sacrificing his life for him and told them to focus on finishing the mission. The snake suddenly hissed in front of them. Zane deemed it not good because there were a bunch of them. The young snakes started approaching as they hatched. Kyo ordered all of them to be careful. The two looked in horror while thinking that they would die there. The snakes began launching an attack, but Kyo told them to go quickly while he would be left holding the snakes. Kaya told him that there were too many of them and they couldn't escape. Zane suddenly raised his fist. His Zumi ring began glowing with gold. All of them were now engulfed with a gold sphere, which caused the snakes to stop. Kyo seemed to have noticed their sudden reaction. The snakes started bowing their heads on them. They were now confused as to what was going on. Zane then asked their captain to move and start burning them. Kyo snapped and began emitting a massive amount of fire. The snakes hissed loudly as they burned. Part of the forest was now burning because of the attack. Kira asked Zane what he had done, to which he answered that he used equipment to intimidate them. Kyo announced to them that it's done, while the snakes were still burning till now. He then turned to Zane, asking what he had done, but he replied normally. The mecha's monitor began showing a warning sign, which made Kyo and Zane confused. Kyo revealed that the mission to eradicate the snake's nest hasn't gone well. The Izaki snake clan's known reinforcement points are all marked up. Kyo turned to Zane, saying that they could guard the paths with his ability. Zane's expression dimmed, knowing they can't wipe them all out, but they should get running now. A 5th rank Izaki snake guardian hissed above the pine tree. Kira was shocked upon seeing the snake nest guardian, while Kyo noticed how huge it was. Zane shouted at them and frantically told them to run now. Kira cursed while running away, with Kaya following up. Kyo launched an attack using the mecha, saying that he will cover the rear while they escape. The snake guardian hissed in pain as the attack caused an explosion. Zane turned around and called out their captain. The snake was now trying to swallow the mecha in its mouth. It then crushed the mecha, sending Kyo falling from above. The latter winced in pain because he was now covered with bruises. Kira and Kaya looked in horror as they watched their captain. The snake suddenly roared in front of them, with its mouth open. The snake tried to eat them alive, but a golden sphere engulfed the two of them. Kira suddenly recognized it. It was the 6th-tier armor that Zane gave them. As they were rejoicing, the snake suddenly secreted a poison. The golden sphere disappeared and they were hit directly in the face. Their bodies began disintegrating and turning into ashes. Zane watched as his team crumbled and met their deaths. The snake guardian suddenly hissed and attacked him, but Zane's eyes glowed in gold as he cursed. A golden aura suddenly engulfed his whole body as he opened the urgent lock. He managed to dodge the snake's attack by leaping upward. He summoned his zither and activated his dragon soars. He raised his hand in front, and the strong wind followed. The snake growled while forming something on its forehead. It then emitted a purple shard and sent it directly at him. The shard pierced through the storm wind, dissolving it instantly and sending Zane downward. A golden beam struck the ground, with Zane sitting in it and cursing about how strong the 5th tier was. The snake roared and tried to swallow him alive, but a sudden surge of blue beams struck its head and pinned it to the ground. A sword pierced directly on its head, causing its death. Zane's eyes widened in shock upon witnessing it. A woman suddenly went down near the sword. She then stood beside it with a smirk. Zane bowed to her, giving his gratitude for saving him. The woman named Gina chuckles, saying that he was handsome but she's from the land of exile and not the great Xia Empire. Zane recognized that the land of exile is the city of extreme evil, also known as the lower district. Gina was a triple S level spirit, and its level is an 8th tier. Zane's sweat ran down his face, learning that she was an 8th rank Valkyrie. Gina suddenly leaped behind him, asking the song he was playing earlier. She then decided to bring him with her to have him as her exclusive combat support. Zane raised his hand in shock and asked for a moment, which made Gina feel offended because he was a mere tier 3 contract spirit master. Zane said his mission is not done yet, but Gina wanted to take him by force. Zane raised a knife and told her that he would take his own life. Gina found him amusing and asked what she could do for him to come. Zane thought of taking advantage of her because she was so fond of him. He then raised his finger, saying that he'll go with her if she helped him eradicate the young snakes. Gina admitted she expected an unreasonable request, and then agreed. Zane told her that he has a map of the Izaki snake clan nest distribution. He revealed that there were 3 nearby locations where they could intercept, to which Gina instantly agreed to him. Suddenly, something formed on her back. A massive beast suddenly comes out to her. Realizing that her wounds are starting to act up again, Zane asked what was going on while she was in the mode of breaking down. With a dark aura around her, she shouted at him to run. She now succumbed to the darkness and leapt towards him, but Zane began playing his zither upon realizing that she's emanating a demonic aura. The zither emitted a green energy, turning her back to her humanoid form. The green energy surrounded her, breaking the dark aura on her back. She turned her head in confusion as it vanished. Gina asked if it was Zane's doing, to which he revealed that it was a small effort. Gina walked ahead of him, but didn't escape Zane's questioning. She revealed that she was wounded by a Tier 9 insect emperor and was taking over her body. Zane found it terrifying upon knowing that it was Tier 9. He then asked if he could take a look at her wound, which made her find him bold. She agreed to him, but only if she could gauge his eyes out after. Zane touched the wound at her back, saying that it wasn't deep, and it is treatable. Gina's cheeks flushed, thinking that he touched it directly. Zane became serious and glowed in green. He then began treating her wound. Gina screamed as she felt that the wound was slowly recovering. The wound on her back was now gone because of him. Zane said the purity powder only suppresses it, so he was trying something. His other spirit appeared, which surprised Gina because he has 2. His spirit emitted a massive golden light. He then pointed at her and chanted his life Genesis. Gina shivers because finally, she now feels good. Zane said the wound was half healed, but Gina wanted him to do it again. He explained that he needed more insect corpses to do it again. Gina turned to him with a smile because their next task is to eradicate the Izaki hatchlings. She grabbed Zane's hand and started flying to get there. A drone floats midair to monitor the Izaki snakes. The guy reported that there is a large number of young snakes at the gorge entrance. They deemed the situation not good and started suggesting a move. Jugo revealed that the insect snakes were prepared, and it was very clear to him. He ordered them to contact the 8th combat zone and tell them not to take action for now. Zane and Gina managed to arrive just in time. She then glowed in blue and told him to begin. But Zane asked for her to halt and let him go first. He then rushed downward with eager resolve. A golden explosion took place as he descended, with Gina being left behind to make sure of his safety. Zane was in the middle of the Izaki snakes, killing each of them one by one. He threw a punch to one of them, sending it away. Jugo and the others were in shock upon seeing Zane on the battlefield. The others exclaimed that he was seeking death for charging alone. He once again punched the other one, splitting it in half. Zane originally planned to train the 8 urgency fist, but there were too many of them. The snakes loomed before him and roared at the back. They then looked at him with fiery eyes, which prompted Gina to descend downward. A beam of blue energy descended in the middle as she shouted for them to get away. She then jumped out with her glowing eyes. She started attacking the snake and cutting it in half. Zane glowed in gold and rushed towards the snakes, which caught her guard off. She smiled while saying how reckless he was. The snakes surrounded him as he managed to unlock the 3rd lock. He punched forward, emitting a golden beam towards the enemy. The Izaki snakes were now having a hard time dealing with him. While Gina found him interesting because of the power he was displaying, she enthusiastically glowed in blue, telling him that she would help. They were shocked that Zane could block the snake nest, while the old man wondered who Gina was. Jugo revealed that she was a female demon which Wade and his wife fought with a month ago. The battlefield was now at peace. Zane and Gina were now standing in the middle of the snake's corpses. Now that there were so many corpses, he can once again use the vitality creation again. His spirit sucked out all the corpses that they have defeated. He then asked Gina to prepare so that they can start the treatment again. Gina's wounds suddenly opened again. The treatment once again started with Gina standing amidst the golden light. She then screamed while feeling the energy inside her. A black thorn suddenly showed up on her back, with Zane asking if they should pull it out, but Gina instructed him to pull it out. His weapon then sucked out all the demonic energy left on her wound, which made her once again scream from the feeling.